Hello and welcome to episode 58 of my Salem tutorial series. This episode is going to be on working our way towards the next inspiration potion, which is the Rubbery Mescaline Refresher. Now you're probably wondering, who on earth is this character and where on earth am I? Well, the where on earth am I will remain a mystery. Basically, I was on my other character, I should say, who I've been doing these episodes with, and I was in the process of building a forest. Well, I can only presume that someone took offence to my forest, because as I'm taking a tree to plant it, someone comes and knocks me out. Then they murder me. So that character is gone. Deceased. No more. Just like the parrot. So I'm continuing the series with this character. Don't worry about the attire. I will be showing you all of that in future episodes. What we're focusing on is the Rubbery Mescaline Refresher. So yes, you're probably saying to yourselves that when I first started, someone come along and smashed all my stuff up. Then someone come along and robbed me. Then someone come along and knocked me out. And to put the cherry on the top of the cake, they killed me. Permadeath. Why on earth am I not rage quitting? I'll tell you why, because Salem is an absolutely fantastic game to play. I get so much enjoyment out of it, not from the dying, being robbed, being knocked out, or having my stuff smashed up, but having to think of ways to combat all of that. Not that I'm there yet, because I do intend to do episodes on self-defense. Yes, we're going to build a wall. Yes, we'll build torch posts. Yes, we'll build other defenses, and also we'll be making 5 warriors that we give access to our claim, keep them logged off with their swords and good armor and other skills, and when someone comes stealing or fighting, then I'll have a little surprise for them. But that's far in the future. I've worked out ways to combat your average thief and killer. Anyway, so back to this episode. I was seriously going to stray then. Right, the first thing that you need to start with, as oddly or strangely as it might sound, is an oiling trough. Because you will need oiled boards, and I've not shown how to make the oiling trough yet. So to make an oiling trough, you go into build. By the way, you get the oiling trough when you learn joinery and finish, which we had learnt there it is, joinery and finish, which we had learnt with the other character, so I know that you should have joinery and finish. There is a great chance that in making this episode I'm going to make something and you're going to look for it and it's not there. If that happens, so when we go to make the steam distillate, if you don't get the option to make that, just go to the Salem wiki, type in steam distillate, and you'll see what I've missed out. I'm hoping to not miss anything out, but because my other character was killed, I don't know my natural progress path now, so I'm just going to show you this way. So anyway, making the oiling trough, you go to craft, or was it called build, and then we go to tools and utilities, and then oiling trough. And if I just put that there, you will see that you need 2 planed boards, 4 dry boards, and 1 nail. That will get you this item, the oiling trough. To make oiled boards, which we will need to make an alchemy table, you put 8 planed boards into these slots here. Well, you don't have to put 8, but put in as many as you can make. into the oiling trough, and providing it's full of oil, you then have to wait 2 days for the boards to turn into oiled boards. Now, reading from the Salem wiki, it says that if you fill all these slots with 8 planed boards, you will only get 4 oiled boards, and you'll get 4 bowed, or whatever they're called. Anyway, they're the rubbish ones. You'll only get 4. So my advice to you is do try and fill all 8 slots, because you're only going to get half of them back as oiled boards. Okay, so now you're probably saying, well, wait a minute, how do we get the oil? Because you've not shown us that yet. Well, okay, I was going to get to that if you will allow me to. Okay, so making oil then, how do we do that? Well, let's go up here. There we go. And you will need to make an oiling, you need to make a press. To make a press, you go to Build, Tools and Utilities, and now I've got to try and find it. This is what I mean, this episode has so much in it, making different things wise, and oh, for goodness sake, where is the press? I know it's there somewhere. You'll start to get this yourselves, where you've got so many items you can make. Oh, there's a coffin. Definitely should have made one of them. I'm not sure how they benefit you in this game, but or even a crypt, and I can put my coffins in my crypt. Anyway, don't get me started. So, where is the press? There it is. So, to make a press, you need 2 planed boards, 5 dry boards, 8 granite, 6 leather, and 2 nails. That will get you a press. Okay, next, once you've built your press, right click on it, fill it with the most common seeds that you have. I'm using cotton seeds because I have them in abundance. Okay, in your pocket, you will need a bucket. The best thing to do with press, you can see at the top here, contents 25 litres of cottonseed oil. That is the maximum amount of oil this can fit into it. So once you put your cotton seeds in, press this button that's called press. That's a funny old thing, isn't it? And well, let's try and show you. So in order to get the oil out, once you've made it, left click the bucket, right click on the press. Like so. You see that bucket has now got 10 litres of cottonseed oil. Now to make the oil, once you've filled it with cotton seeds, press. And there you see, nice little graphic of it spinning round. I love it. All the little things like that, I tell you, fantastic. And you see that it's going through doing the seeds and will keep going till it reaches the maximum amount of 25 litres. So there we are. We now have some cottonseed oil. Let's now take that to the oiling trough. And left click the bucket, right click on the oiling trough, and there it goes. Now if I right click, you can see mine's nearly full. So now you would stick in here 8 planed boards. They are then slowly going to turn into 4 planed boards. Fingers crossed with that, hopefully. Okay, moving on. Yeah, I know there's a lot so far, and we ain't even got to talking about the potion or alchemy or any of that yet. We're working our way there, slow but sure. Okay, so that's that done. Next, you need to learn some skills. So let's bring this up. And this is the bit that's going to scare you. Not all of making that, this. First, you're going to need to learn literacy. Which is there. which is just 700 faith and wisdom. Easy enough, I'm sure you'll agree. Next, you need to learn a formal education. So all the way up here. Just on literacy, what that also does is increases your inspiration rate, that you regen inspiration. So it's definitely worth getting it just for that, because you'll notice ever so slightly your inspiration goes up slightly quicker. So that's one good reason to get literacy. But the reason you got literacy is to unlock this skill, a formal education. Literacy allows you to read books as well. Not got into that yet, books and making books and writing in books. I'm sure I will in probably episode 1000 and whatever. Okay, coming back to this then, a formal education. This needs 1500 faith and wisdom. So again, very easy for you. Well, you know, not too difficult. A formal education increases your inspiration rate, so again it will increase ever so slightly your inspiration regen. So as you're walking around doing things, your inspiration will regenerate a bit quicker. The reason, however, we learn a formal education is because then it unlocks alchemy, which is this one. Okay, now to learn alchemy, you need 1750 arts and crafts, 2500 herbs and sprouts, 2500 natural philosophy, and here's the killer, 1000 perennial philosophy. Now with natural philosophy, you know that's going to be just studying a load of bugs, and for the rest of them, yeah. The perennial philosophy is the one that's going to give you the problems, because with perennial philosophy, when you raise it, not only do the other skills not raise, but you only get 100 at a time. Just like I believe, no, Cloak and Dagger, right? Cloak and Dagger I think goes up 200 at a time, but perennial philosophy only goes up 100 at a time when you increase it. Okay, so there's a task for you to achieve that. But the joy of doing that is it will unlock a whole range of oh, I'm not even going to try. I'm not going there. No, not doing it. Okay, so it will unlock a new, if we go into craft, you'll see you'll have a whole new section called oh, don't do it. Right. You'll have in there then a glass vial and, well, not yet the other one. You'll have a glass vial. Okay, what do you need that for? Well, we'll get there. Okay, so after you've learned alchemy, here is the killer. Next, you need to learn steam distillation. This one is the one which will test your endurance, because if we come down here, steam distillation requires 3750 herbs and sprouts. I can't see that. As 5250 natural philosophy, but oh my goodness, you need 2100 perennial philosophy. Now, I will say this to you to make your lives a bit easier. You will need nearly 2 full large urns of Savage Charms. What are they? Well, remember, here they are. Getting either the Savage Charms, so you will, because you won't be ready for the other item I was going to mention. So nearly 2 full large urns of Savage Charms got me both the steam distillation and alchemy. Both them skills I managed to learn with nearly 2 full urns of the Savage Charms. So that's how you'll get that. Okay, moving on. So you've learned all them skills. The next thing you need to make is what's just over here, a crucible. Now I believe we unlocked a crucible previously, but just to show you, to make a crucible you go to Build, Tools and Utilities, and oh, here we go again. Here we go again. Where on earth did I put the crucible? I think it's in a really unlikely place. If I remember correctly, with the crucible, it's not somewhere you'd expect it at all. Allow me a moment of stupidity just while I look for where I put where the crucible is, because no, it can't be in there. It has to be in Build. Could it be in one? No, I don't think it's in any of these. Oh, there's so many structures opening up now, and I ain't even got halfway through, I don't believe. Goodness me, I'm going to be in a right mess by episode 150. I'm going to be... well, you're going to have to give up on me, I think, by then. Okay, so Crucible's got to be around here somewhere. This has to be the neighbourhood for the Crucible. I'm going to feel so stupid when I find it, because I did find it. I always find them before I start an episode. But the trouble is, when you have the memory of a sieve, that doesn't help. Where on earth is the Crucible? Well, I think I've checked through everything now, but I know the Crucible is there. Maybe I should ask that rabbit. It would have a better chance of finding it than I. That's for sure. Right, this is just outright annoying me now. Where is that Crucible, and why can't I find it? Why is it so difficult for me to find? I'm just going round in circles here. So if it's not there, it has to be in here. And it's not in alchemical. There, I said it. At last. Flipping heck. I mean, look at all this. This is... ah, there it is. Ugh. Got there in the end. Very long journey, but got there in the end. Yeah, this isn't cheap, alright? This is not cheap. It's 3 wrought iron bars, but you know what? You're a pro at that now, because I've shown you how to make them already. And if this idiot can make them on his own, and you've probably got lots of friends to help you, then making 3 wrought iron bars is a piece of cake. Let's just hope you have a cherry on top. And you'll need 10 clay. So 3 wrought iron bars, 10 clay gets you your Crucible. Now, why did we build a Crucible? 2 reasons. 1, you need the Crucible in order to make glass vials. You will get 8 glass vials from 1 glass pane. So just to show you, if we go into craft and alchemical equipment, there, I said it real quick, that way I didn't stumble on it. You'll see that's where your glass vial is. Okay, so how do we use the Crucible? Well, let's show you. I'm not going to make glass vials. What I'm going to make is, because I have a glass vial, for goodness sake, what do I want to make more for? But that's what you'll use it for, because you will need to make them. You only need to make them the once. You only need to make them once, and then you're done with it, so don't worry about it. Okay, so what I want to do is go and light my torch. So let's drop my teddy bear. let's go in here. Let's light the torch. Let's go out. Now with the crucible you need to put one coal into it. Just one coal. That's all. So very little. I've already put a coal in there. With the graphic you can see the coal is in there. Now I just need to light it. So once you put your coal in, you put the coal, one piece of coal on your cursor, right click on the crucible and it will put it inside. Then you get your torch, right click. Okay, that's lit it. You see the coals are lit now. Now with you right clicking it, you would then click on glass file like so and create. And it will get you 8 as you can see there, but I'm not going to do that. What I want to make is the glass bottles. To make the glass bottles, oh no, where were the glass bottles? Here we go again. Ah no, simple potions. There you go. And in there we've got glass bottle. So I'm just going to quickly craft 4 glass bottles. There you go, and as you see, when you make your glass vials, you'll see the same little graphic and hear the same bubbling. But you won't have a silly rabbit hopping all over the place. He's going in my pot later, that's for sure. Right, okay, so we got some glass bottles. What's next? Let's have a look. So okay, after you've made your 8 glass vials, you will then need to go to town and buy one of these glass bottles. You're doing that just until I can show you how to make glass panes. Because I know the glass panes are expensive, so I will be showing you eventually how to make your own glass panes, but for now just go to town and buy a glass bottle. Next we need to make an alchemy table. Okay, so let's go over here. Let's put my teddy back on. Get a bit lonely without cuddling Teddy. Right, so let's go back to the alchemy table, or over to here. Okay, so to make an alchemy table, go into build, tools and utilities, and there it is. This one's not difficult to find. Okay, I'm going to put it just there. To make an alchemy table, you need 6 oiled boards. Remember, that's why we went through making that oiling trough. All because of this alchemy table. So you need 6 oil boards, 6 dry boards, 4 nails and 2 leather. That will get you an alchemy table. Okay, moving on. Next, we need to make a steam distillate. In order to make a steam distillate, this is so expensive. A steam distillate, you will need 5 glass panes. Yes, I know that's a pain. 2 copper bars and 1 oiled board. So just to show you, in here, once you've learned alchemy and steam distillation, you'll then have this, in here you'll find steam distillate. And boy oh boy is this an expensive item to make. I imagine you're only going to bother making 1 of them. Okay, so once you've made your steam distillate, okay, you then right click on your alchemy table and you would, let's put it in my pocket and show you. So first of all, let's take that out, let's take that out. Okay, so you've got your alchemy table. Your alchemy table has 5 slots. What that means to me and you is that you can fit up to 5 steam distillates in there. So shift click your steam distillate in. You can have 4 more, as you can see, but trust me when I tell you, do not waste your money on making them. Not until we can make glass panes ourselves. But making glass panes is a complete pain. Trust me on that. Anyway, back to this. So we put our steam distillate in here. Next you right click on the steam distillate. That opens it up. Shows you it's got space for 2 items. What you need to put in here is your... Oh, that's already got auto rows. That's got auto rows. So that's one I've made earlier. Let's just open this up. Let's grab an empty one. Okay, so open up your steam distiller, shift click your glass vial in there, and I mentioned in the last episode you need to grow some roses. You always also need to grow some peyote cactus, okay, because you're going to need 4 of them for each potion. But for now, let's stay focused on what I'm talking about. So in the steam distiller you put a glass vial and 1 red rose, which you've been now growing because I told you to in the last episode. Trust me when I tell you, although you may not be making this potion much in the future because there's a better potion you're going to be making, you will still, however, want to be using your alchemical table and your steam distiller, and you still will be wanting to make Otto Rose. Not for the Otto Rose, but for this item, a dehydrated rose. Check out the perennial philosophy. 1,500 per dehydrated rose. So having, I don't know, 10 of them, you'll easily be able to, if you go buy them from the town, I don't think they're cheap, but that's one way of easily learning alchemy and steam distiller, is through using them. Okay, back to this. Once you put your glass vial in here and your rose, you then have to wait 4 hours for this to turn into a dehydrated rose, and this to have Otto of rose, which you'll get 0.01 litres of Otto Rose. Okay, so there we have it after 4 hours. Now, if you do not come back to, say you do this before you go to bed, you put these in here and then go to bed. When you come back in the morning, you're only going to see the glass vial in there. Because when this finishes 4 hours later, you have 1 hour in which to take out the dehydrated rose. If you go back to this too late, after that 1 hour, so once this finishes and you get your Otto Rose and a dehydrated rose, after 1 more hour this will disappear. Okay, you get 1 hour to get back to your alchemy table and into here to grab the dehydrated rose. After 1 hour it perishes. So if you're making these, it's a very wise idea to do it early afternoon if you're playing at the weekend, or early as you can, and then set a timer. Set the timer to 4 hours, and then you know when it's ready. You come back, take out your dehydrated rose, take out your Otto of Rose. Phew, so there we are. That's how we get the Otto of Rose. Now, you will need 0.02 litres of Otto of Rose. So you will need to do that process twice. That will get you 2 litres, or 0.02 litres, which is what you need. Down here you can see I've got 0.7, so I've got plenty to make this. The wiki says that you need 2 glass vials. You don't. Just fit it all into 1 glass vial. You only need 1, just to show you that. Let's empty this into this barrel, and then let's just put that away. Okay, because I don't need it. There we go. That's put away. What I should do, and will do actually, now that I've set that going, I'm going to set my timer to 4 hours. So I'll know when to come back and grab my dehydrated rose. Okay, so that's that done. So you're saying, Gamester, for goodness sake, I've lost the plot on what you were supposed to be making at the beginning of this episode. You've gone over so many different things, for goodness sake. What on earth are we supposed to be making? Are you ever going to get there? Well, the good news is we're there. Because to make a Rubbery Mescaline Refresher, you need 4 peyote cactus, you need 2 stringy sinews, you need the 0.02 litres of Otto of Rose, and you need a glass vial. So there you are, my friends. We finally made it. So let's make it. Okay, we go to craft, we go to potions, and Rubbery Mescaline Refresher. Okay, now there's all the components. I'm not going to make it because it's only a measly 150,000 inspiration. For those of you though that are, you know, who have just started, I mean, for goodness sake, to put it into perspective, I go over 1 million now with my inspiration, so that's just like a drop in the ocean. It isn't going to do nothing for me. You might want to use them for your alts, for building up your alts, but trust me when I tell you, I'm going to be getting to the next level up potion. I can make the next level up potion, okay? I'm not going to jump ahead, but the next level up potion is the way to go. Alright, I'm going to get there. You're not ready for that yet, and anyway, it's another episode, and it's a very good one. For now, I've met the objective of showing you how to make a Rubbery Mescaline Refresher. It has 3 gulps. Each gulp will give you 50,000 XP. So that's going to get you leveling pretty quickly with your skills for now. But once we get to the next level up potion, then it rocks. Then it truly rocks. And the funny thing is, this potion is about 10 times more difficult to make than the next one up. But I don't want to put you off. It's still a very good potion for your alts, because your alts when they're first starting out won't have much inspiration, so having one of these handy gets you up quickly. That's why I'm not worried about if I get murdered. You know, people can come and murder me, I don't care. I've got a ton of alts now living on this claim, and fine, I get murdered. I've made up 20 of the next level up potions. I'll get them back to where I am in a matter of a couple of days, so really not a concern. What I'm saying to you is, don't worry if anyone robs from you, don't worry if anyone murders you, don't worry if anyone smashes your stuff, and don't worry about any other negative. Everything in Salem is very easy to get back, providing you make a few alts. You bring them to your claim, give them full access, and then load them up with your valuables. And that's all you got to do to keep that stuff safe. Because providing you keep the purse in the pocket, I noticed with the hackers, they can only hack your slots. So they hack that slot, and hack that slot. But if you put the stuff in your pocket, it seems to be safe. And if you never log them on because they're just mule alts, bank alts, then your stuff is safe on them, as far as I'm aware. Anyway, there we go. I don't know how long this episode's been. Probably gone into the record books as one of the longest. Wherever you are in the world, God bless you and keep every last one of you safe. Thank you for watching and have a fantastic day. I hope you enjoyed this episode on Rubbery Mescaline Refresher. Goodbye.